welcome. We decided to start the show today on a very sort of happy note. We know Nigeria is going through a lot with regards to the economy. Wherever it is you are in the country, you're definitely feeling something. But music is always a way to sort of soften your day, and it's a Sunday, so why not? So you're welcome to Rubbin Minds. My name is Ebuka Obiuchendu. And we're starting off the show today with an artist who's burst into the scene and is doing amazing things. You're very welcome, Candy Bleakz. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm fine. I'm good.
So I don't know, how long have you done this for professionally? Because I know you're signed to Chocolate City, if I'm right. When did you join the label?
2017, I met Chalk City, and I was with the group Street Billionaires, affiliated to Chalk City, and I've been like doing freestyle. And 2020, we signed officially. Okay,
so 2017 and 2020, you were sort of, but 2020 was when it became official. Yeah. When did music start for you? When did it become a thing for you? And was it always something you had in you, or did you see where Nigerian music was going and you were like, there's money here, let me follow this thing? What was it really?
Okay, so for me, it has always been like sports, and I wanted to become like a medical doctor, you know. I went to OOU, I was studying medicine before I left school, and but when I was in GS2, I was the class rep for my class, and you know they were supposed to go for a competition, and the person in charge in my class was not available, and you know, as the class rep, I have to make it up. So I went, and my school won. I wasn't a rapper or anything. I just asked someone to like write me some lyrics. I love the school film, and I'm like, okay, let me just pay little attention to it. Getting to university, it was another world. We had our own Whiskey, we had our own Davido, and I'm like, oh, seems like I'm gonna take this serious. So I left school, back to Lagos, learning video directing, going for competition. So I won Lagos Got Talent, met MI, Benga Denka introduced me to him. Then from there, I started like being around Chalk City.
That's a very, 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 very interesting story. So GSS2 is when it sort of got lit in your head. When did you stop with studying medicine?
When I got to OOU, you know.
After how many years did you leave?
So my first semester, I was like, you know, really like serious into it, you know. But second semester, they were knowing me in school, and my dad couldn't like continue paying the fee. So I decided to I did a freestyle on Facebook, and a man hit me up. He said he was going to shoot the video for me. So I left school, came back to Lagos, and my dad told me, oh, he's not sure I can continue. So I decided to stay in Iyanokbaja and learn video directing. From there, I started going for competition. Olamide Bado, Ghost, Eshungbenumi, we were part of the people that did the set design, that came out from the grave, and that was 2016. So
what I'm hearing now is that you would have continued studying medicine if not that your dad couldn't afford to continue paying? Yes and no, maybe.
Yes and no, maybe.
Or it was a perfect reason for you to stop. How did your dad feel about, you know, how things turned out at the time?
When I left school, he didn't know, because when he told me, I just told him, no problem, I'm just going to you know, keep gardening, hustling. Him and my mom, they are not together. So I told him, oh, I'll try to call my mom people and all. But getting to Lagos, learning video directing, going from one location to another, falling in love more with music, and realizing, oh, this thing I'm even trying to force, it's not like there's fund to go further. So why don't I just, you know, focus on this since I love it more? So I was excited.
I saw a newspaper headline, I think it was from The Nation, where... Or was it The Nation? No, the Daily Trust, I believe, where you said you haven't seen your family since you left home at 16 or something like that. Is that true?
Yeah.
How long ago is that now? You still haven't gone back home?
No, I've gone home. Okay. I've met my parents recently. So when leaving the house, I left with the mindset of I'm leaving home to feed home, and I didn't want to go back home, except I'm going home with a big bag. So for me, I do communicate, but I did not want to, because you that left home for a long time, for you to go back home, the siblings are there, the family, what people think, what people are saying online is so different. They think maybe, oh, this person has some trillions in your account, and also to go home, I really have to have enough back. So but I've been communicating.
Yeah. How's your dad now? You guys cool? How does he feel about your career?
He's so proud because my dad is always like, oh, he can't walk anymore in the streets, he can't do this, he can't do that. Everybody's always hailing him. Like, he has to, like, give people money, blah, blah, blah. So, like, he's really proud because he didn't know when I left. He didn't know I was really doing music until Chalk City asked him to come over, and also it was just a whole different story.
What about your mom?
Yeah, she's good. For her too, it's same, but like right now, I've not been like communicating with her. But yeah. But...
Is there a reason why?
So like right now, I just like don't have access to her right now for now. Yeah.
Fair enough. What's the story about a fuel attendant situation? Did you work at a gas station?
Yeah.
When was this?
That was in 2015. Yeah, 2015, before going to school, you know, surviving from secondary school, working as a fuel station attendant. That was in Ikorodu. Yeah, Ikorodu garage, selling shoes, and all this one's like, I just don't make out.
Do you go back there sometimes? Have you gone back there since you left there?
I have not gone to, no. For a long time, no.
That's a great story. I mean, from being a fuel attendant to at least 1 million followers on Instagram now and doing great music in the music scene. We know what's happening with Afrobeats now. Are you an Afrobeats artist? Would you call yourself an Afrobeats artist?
So I'll call my music Afro-Streets because I'm from the streets and I'm into Afrobeat, but in as much I try to like infuse slumber. I try to like think about what they are thinking. I try to be like, oh, when I'm making my music, what kind of lyrics will I infuse? How will these people feel? And also, it's like making a music everyone can relate to it, whether you have money or not, whether you are rich or poor, young and old. Yeah. Just making for everyone.
I've heard the Afro-Streets quite a bit, and there are not very many women who are doing it. So what made you want to do it? Is that because of your history, or did you find a vacuum and said, okay, let me fill up this space?
Yeah, so for me, it started with rap. You know. I did a freestyle in 2018, Aprasha Pre, and it trended. I started like, you know, doing rap, and with the way the music industry started going, I realized, oh yeah, I want to like find a sound for myself. I want to do what nobody is doing, what is just going to make me like quite different. And I just like keep finding my sound until I get to this stage, and
Just to segue a bit, because you mentioned Afro-Streets there, and I keep seeing this debate about Ashake and Sheyi vibes. You know, what are your thoughts on that? Is there anyone you think is better? Why do you think that debate is going on?
Well, for me, they are dope, man. They are really dope, you know. Ashake has dope melodies. Sheyi too is like someone that lives with an old woman or something. So they're both good, like they're good, yeah.
Who would you want to collaborate with? Who resonates more with you?
I think both of them vibe more, but yeah, both of them vibe more. I'm in with anyone.
Whichever one that comes.
Whichever one, when I make a music and I realize, oh, Ashake sound good or Sheyi sound good, I put in anyone, yeah.
I think I heard somewhere at a podcast where you're talking about women unable to support themselves because they don't have the same type of relationship that their male counterparts have. And I find that a lot with the music industry here. First of all, it doesn't feel like we have enough female artists as much as the men. You know, and everywhere else in the world, it's almost the other way around. But here it's different. And we don't seem to see a lot of collaborations as well. Why do you think that is? And is this something you're trying to work towards changing?
Yeah, it's something I would really love to change. Me and Tenny, we have a song, and I think we have good relationship. We do talk and all. So, but for me, I just feel like the fact that the female artist doesn't have like good relationship and all, it's making it more harder for everyone coming out, because unlike the male artists, you know, when there's this new guy, the song enter, Bado already like give a verse, or you are hearing Davido on it, or you are hearing, you know, they are more supportive, there is more relationship. But for the females, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's more of business, or, oh, I'm just minding my business. I don't know what it is, but I really want to make it different and all.
Yeah. Do you reach out to some of them besides Tenny, like you said?
Yeah. I do reach out to, you know, some couple females.
Who would you like to work with?
Mama Jam Jam. Yeah, Tiwa Savage. Yeah, Mama Jam Jam. I feel like she's like low-key our female whiskey. So yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I would like to have her.
What's been the biggest challenge for you in the industry? You find a lot of people in the past used to talk about, distribution. Now it looks like streaming is taking care of that in some way. But music now is so different, People are going international. TikTok is very important. You need to get all these challenges in to go viral and all of that. What's the biggest challenge for you, though, so far in your journey since 2020?
I feel is trying to be me, like, trying to be different brand, trying to be like when you look at Candy, when you see Candy, I don't want to like remind them of anyone else. It means I have to like work 20 times harder because I'm trying to like build my own legacy, open my own page. So it's like, it has not been easy. And also being the only female making this kind of music and, the rest are niggas, are guys. I have to make sure the sound, the melody, everything is dope. I have to make sure that people, when they listen to the song, they feel like, oh, this girl, she's really dope.
Do you find that people, because you said you're different, what do people think when they see you? Do they judge you differently, or are they accepting you anyways the way you are? Because you're branding yourself very strongly. And like you said, once I see you, I know who you are.
So for Nigeria, I'm not really sure because I've gotten some recognition. I did a brand for Drake and Nike. I got the Grammy Recording Academy. I got the Afrima, the NBA with Nicki Minaj, and also internationally, it's been like amazing. My fans too, it's been amazing. It's just step by step, it's just you having to like walk and be like, I want to build my own world. It's definitely going to be different. 30
December is coming. This is when you start dropping plenty hits so that we'll book you people throughout December. But anything we should look out for with Candy Bleakz?
So when the money by your boyfriend free come free for all. A lot has been going on online these days, and I just feel like it's very necessary we just do dope music for people. So I'm dropping a new music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with Bad Boy Teams, titled Free for All. Free for all.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's for everyone.
When should we look out for that?
I'm dropping August.
Okay.
Yeah, August.
Okay.
Yeah, August.
Looking out for that, man. Thanks a lot for being here, Candy Bleakz. You're amazing. You have, I feel like I heard about you and then all of a sudden you were everywhere. So I'm looking forward to a lot more of you. And please stay original, stay very true to yourself. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a short break now. I'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now, just a few years ago, we were introduced to a new career called content creation. A lot of people didn't take it very seriously, wasn't sure if it was going to last the distance. But these days, it's looking like, it's here to stay. And a lot more Nigerians are getting in on the action and doing amazing in that space. I'm joined by one of the most prominent ones here in the country. You know him as Jay on air, but he's Joseph Onao-Olakpo. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. I just stick with Jay on air because that's what I know you as on Instagram. How long have you been doing this for? And what made you jump on it?
I've been creating content for 3-4 years now, but I'm a broadcaster, radio presenter, all of that. But I jumped on it during lockdown, COVID. Everybody and their mothers.
A lot of people jumped on things on COVID.
During COVID was really interesting, right? A lot of people jumped on it. So I was out of a job at the time. I was sad. I was depressed. So it felt like, this was an outlet. Plus, everybody was on there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to be like I was embarrassing myself because even the biggest stars were on there. So I got on TikTok, started lip-syncing videos, and then it became a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
Do you find it hard explaining what you do sometimes to people? Because we have people across board who watch a show like this, and they still don't understand why is content creation a job? Do you have those conversations sometimes, and how do you explain it away?
To be honest, yes. I definitely find it hard. So I just tell people, I'm a radio presenter. It's easier for people to say, well, I'm a broadcaster. But when I get into content creation, it just baffles some people that so you stand in front of your phone and a ring light and just act out.
Performing to yourself.
Not just performing. So it's weird to some people. But yes, it's a job. People are making a lot of money off it. People
like
are doing people are doing amazing things for themselves off it. We get DMs and messages, people saying you make me happy. You've done this for me, you've done that for me. Plus the platform makes us able to, helps us able to, makes us, I don't know English there, to do other things that we're supposed to do. So, I mean, yeah, it's hard to explain, but I guess as time goes by, more people will get it.
Was there a moment you realized that things had probably turned? Because, like you said, you started in COVID, most people were just having fun.
Yeah.
Was there a video or a moment where you realized, oh, this could actually be a thing?
I think it was when I had a viral character. So I had this secondary school girl character called Chizoba, and then I woke up one day and Chizoba was trending. And in my mind, I'm like, it can't be me, you know? And then Chizoba was trending on Twitter. People were calling me and tagging me, and I knew that, oh, this was something. But then I had not even started making money as such. But I think I knew it was something when a brand was willing to pay me up to $1 million for something. I'm like, it just didn't make sense to me.
Yes.
Just to create content, just 1 or 2 videos. And I just said, you know, this is something. So I think, yeah, the Chizoba trending on Twitter that day and a brand saying, we're willing to pay you this because we think that this is what you're worth.
Yeah.
You know, it was just mind-blowing for me.
So how do you now do that with radio presenting now? Because, I mean, with content creation, what I always find is you have to keep creating content whether you like it or not. Radio is also quite demanding. I don't know how often you're on air. How do you balance that?
I'm on air Mondays to Fridays, you know, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's hard. I will not even lie that it's not hard. It's hard. I still do some emceeing gigs. I do a lot of things, right? When people ask me to describe myself, I just say, you know, everything in the entertainment space I do, it's just in case, you know, people want to just plug in myself there. You know, but I feel like once you love something and then you realize that you cannot get to a certain level if you're not consistently putting in the work, you know. So I make sure that every single week I put out more than 7 or 8 videos. It's hard work, but I feel like that is what has gotten me to where I am right now. Radio, and I'm not even trying to shade radio. Radio is not how it was years ago. Many stars were formed from radio, but nowadays you're seeing that if you don't have a following on social media, it could be hard for you to do the work you're supposed to do on radio or on TV. You know, it could be sort of hard. So I'm just grateful that I'm doing what I'm able to do, but it's hard work. And again, what I tell myself when I get tired is that I'm young, so this is the time to do the work. I don't think I'm going to be wearing wigs in my 40s. I'm not so sure about that. So I think this is the time to do as much as I can.
Now that you bring up the wigs, because I think it's one of the biggest critiques I hear of content creators, especially in this parts. People say, oh, why do you have to cross-dress, using that word loosely, to be funny? Do you ever feel like that's a fair way to criticize, you know, what you do, for example? Because you have multiple characters. Sometimes you mimic people. I saw the one about Chimamanda that went viral. That was really brilliant, you know. But do you find that you have to, do you find that criticism as fair?
To be honest, not necessarily, because you don't really know people's backgrounds or people's stories. I grew up with my mom. So it makes sense that, you know, I'm influenced by women. I grew up with my mom and my sister. And, you know, when I got into the workspace, I work with a lot of women. For some reason, all my bosses have been women. I've not really had a male boss. Maybe 1 or 2 there, because I've done multiple jobs, from being a personal assistant to a communications manager to doing this or that. But I worked with a lot of women, you know, my mom's friends. So I've just had a lot of women around me. And I think that it makes sense that the characters I create, you know, the characters have been influenced by. But again, if you look at my videos, I try not to make a mockery of women. I'm just recreating. I call myself comedy observational. So things that people see every day and don't take as seriously, I recreate stuff from them. So I'm observing and recreating. I'm not trying to make a mockery, or there are certain jokes I will not obviously make, maybe rape jokes or, you know, abuse jokes. Obviously, I'm not going to go there, you know, but I'm just recreating and just making people say, this could be you. So that's why when you go to the comment section, people say, oh, that's my mom, that's me, that's my boss, that's my friend, you know. And these days, I'm also making male characters, so everybody should.
Everybody's getting something.
It's getting something, right?
So, still on the criticisms now, because I know that it also happens a lot with the musicians as well. You know, there's always been talk about, oh, all of you want to bite off Fela's Afrobeat lifestyle, but nobody wants to actually stand up either and face government or be political, you know. And with skit makers, you also find that a lot of people just stay away from the politics, or when they do, it's really, really mundane or just slapstick stuff. Is this something you think should become a little more sort of explored? You find that in spaces like Saturday Night Live, for example, in the US, you know, it's a hilarious show, but a lot of it is centered around, you know, the president and people in politics, and they call out governments, you know. Do you think there's a burden on skit makers, because you have so much people so many people who follow you, who see these skits and might just get something out of it? Or is there fear because of where we are?
Well, there's the fear, but I also think that people should organically do what comes natural to them. Mr. Macaroni, it comes natural to him to do what he does. I don't think it comes natural to me. Obviously, I'm going to stand up and say, but not on that scale. Now, what I'm trying to do more with my time is to focus on abuse. You know, women that have been abused and domestic violence. That is what I want to focus my attention on. And I feel like because that is what I've been moved, I just feel that burden in my heart to talk about stuff like that and to do work in that space. So I think that everybody should do what comes natural to them. If not, it's going to come off as inauthentic. It's going to come off as lying, you know. And I realize that there's so much happening in the country right now. So when you come on my page, I want you to just come and find peace. You know, and just find exactly. I like how you do your hand is zen. You know, just be happy. I don't want you to overthink things. You know, and that's how I think. You know, I'm not going to begrudge anybody for not talking politics or for not doing this or for not doing that, because again, it has to come natural to you, and that's what I think personally.
Very, very important. With content creation now, I find out what the drug is for you guys is the likes and the comments. You know, you find people who sometimes they post something, after 30 minutes they delete it because the first 30 minutes did not catch fire. You know, or because it's a paid thing, you don't want to delete, you now hide the likes, you know, all of those things.
Oh my God.
You know, how hard is that to cope with? Because you can save all you want that it doesn't matter, but it does. Because that is what fuels your market, you know. How do you handle that, you know, when you put in this hard work, probably shot for 6-7 hours, put it out and nobody seems to care that much or as much as you wanted. How do you handle that?
I think for me, I'm lucky because I started creating content after I'd finished school. You know, so shout out to those that are Gen Z that are creating content. I'm not as, some people say I'm very young, but I'm not as young as I look, right? We thank God for good genes.
Or as they think.
Or as they think, right? As they think. So I'm grounded, and I started making content for myself. I was in a place of sadness and depression, so I wasn't necessarily making for people. It grew into that. So one thing I constantly said to myself when I started becoming popular was that I would not respond to negative comments. So if you notice, I never respond to any negative comments at all. It's just not my style. And the second thing is that I'm not going to base how great a video is on likes and comments. Some videos will go viral, some videos will not go viral. That's just how life is. The Chimamanda video, when I made it, Chimamanda didn't see it until like a month after. It was crazy. She posted it on her page. It was wild for me. So I'm just going to consistently do the work. I'm going to have viral moments here and there, but not every single time is going to be viral. So for me, I think that as a person, you have to be grounded, because if you're not, you're going to be so affected by likes and comments. If you go to my page, there are days that you see 47,000 likes. There are days you see 10,000 likes. There are days that, you know, they're like, Jay, we don't feel you today. It's 4,000 likes.
Because fuel is high.
Because fuel is high. So just take this 4,000 likes and be okay. I'm going to be fine with it, you know, at the end of the day. So consistency is my watchword. So I'm going to be grateful for 4,000 likes and 10,000 likes. I know it's hard for people, but I think that you have to work on yourself, be grounded, and you will not be so moved by these things. Because at the end of the day, it's social media. It could be here today and gone tomorrow. What's going to happen? You know, if it's gone tomorrow.
So how do you get grounded, though? Because I know that's a very tough question, if I'm being fair. But, you know, you say maybe because you got into it a little older than other people are doing it. But it's become a very viable space for the Gen Zs, people in school, people that are 19, 20, getting into that content creation and influencer space. You know, and validation for them is these things. So what do you tell someone like that who doesn't get it? Why didn't this my video do as well? You know, and it even leads to, you got into it because you were depressed to find an outlet. Some people get depressed off of it. So how do you handle a situation like that?
To be honest, it's a very tough question that you ever asked me. But like I said, I got into it when I was older. So we have to sometimes get off social media and do some personal work on ourselves. You know, do some character building, watch some motivational things, you know, listen to Chimamanda if you would, you know. Be inspired by people. So I'm not just constantly watching funny stuff. I'm also watching inspirational stuff. I'm also watching things that make me a better person. I watch people like Joyce Meyer. She's an American pastor that, you know, doesn't preach certain kinds of ways. She teaches things that you know, everyday life activities. And that's one person I watch that just helps me stay grounded in my life and as a person. Because I think that if you are not grounded as a person and you don't have the right kind of people around me, the people around me are not people that would just overly hype me. They're my people, they're my guys, they understand me. They are not moved by what I have or what I've gotten or the fame or the money or whatever. You know, and I think that it's very important that you have those kinds of people around you.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. It's a tough question. I hope I you know.
Fair enough. Why are you still on radio though? Is it because you love it, or are you scared because the ground never really strong for this side? You know, because you know a lot of people who they had 9-to-5s, content creation took off, and they quit their jobs and decided to face it, you know, 100%. Is that something you're thinking about, or is there a reason why you still want to keep these?
Honestly, I love radio. Radio is my first love, you know, in the media space. Radio is what I've always wanted to do. And I think that I'm still going to do it for a while to come. But I also want to do more. I want to do TV. I want to explore other aspects. You know, when people see me speak or hear me speak or, you know, hear me do stuff on radio, they are shocked. They assume that, you know, as a content creator, you just want to just make people laugh and just shout. So they're shocked when I'm talking politics on radio because my show is in segments. So there are moments of politics and entertainment and music and all that. So as a broadcaster, you are vast. And I think that because I'm just in love with that space, I'm in love with interviewing people, I'm in love with communicating, not just making people laugh. So I think that that would evolve into something. I don't know what that thing is yet, you know, but for now, I'm just at peace.
Acting?
What did you say?
Acting?
Acting, I've done 1 or 2 things, nothing big, but yeah, maybe. You know, maybe. I don't want to get into acting as a character of mine. I want people to take me seriously as an actor. So I'm hoping that happens.
What do you think is the future of content creation? Because, you know, it used to be Instagram. All of a sudden, it looks like TikTok has taken off. We still have Facebook in the corner. There's Twitter doing their thing. There's Threads now coming out of nowhere. YouTube is still massive, you know. There's too many of these things. What do you think is the future? Is there going to be one platform where all these things happen? Is it going to die off, maybe, and nobody just cares anymore? Or it's going to evolve into something that's more structured, whatever that structure looks like? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. But I think that as much as we have more billionaires in the world, it's never going to be one platform. Because everybody's always going to try to outdo somebody. I mean, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and this person and that person and this person. I just feel like we in Africa need to create something for ourselves. That's where my mind is at. I feel like we have a lot of tech bros. I made a video recently about a tech bro. I feel like there's something we can do. So I don't know if there's going to be a structure, but I know that it's going to keep on evolving. And if you as a person, as a creator, don't evolve into doing other things, you're just going to be gone with the wind, so to say. So evolution, that's it, really.
Yeah. Any immediate plans for you? Next half of the year, anything you want us to know that's coming, maybe?
Anything, I don't know.
Or any subjects you'd like to touch?
To be honest, you would see more of yourself on my page, you know. I could leave this interview and do something about Ebuka because, you know, because why not? I just want to be able to, I don't want to be put in a box. I want to be able to do different things, and I hope that my people, I call them the J Tribe or the Fam Bam, whatever the case may be, will just keep on following me, whether it's movies or radio or TV or whatever. I just want to do other things. And yeah, the year is still July, you know, it's still a long way till Merry Christmas. So much is going to happen. I'm just excited, really. Good luck with everything, man. And I'm looking forward to more interesting stuff from your page. And you so keep going viral. Thank you so much. Thank you. And keep making money. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ebuka. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to the Idol.
You didn't sing well. I didn't hear your voice well.
Chairman.
You're welcome. How are you doing?
Happy birthday.
You know, every year they surprise me on my birthday. So and they always try to hide things in the script to make it look like something's going to happen. But I didn't know it was you guys, but I knew something was happening.
Wow. Wow.
I tell you that this was not a surprise.
I've been on this show for 10 years. What do you expect? At this point, they're still catching me. But it's nice to see you guys.
Same here.
How are you doing? It's actually pleasant.
Nice to be here on your table.
I know. How buddy?
This feels good. I could get used to this.
You should get used to it.
I know.
But not here.
That's me when you're taking. All right.
This one, you came here with paper.
Don't worry. We are here for you today. Live here with Ebuka Obi-Uchendu, who is unarguably one of the biggest faces in TV across Africa, asking the right questions and bringing entertainment, the best of entertainment to millions of homes across the nation, and of course, dragging us by our clothes.
I'm just doing my job.
I know, right? However, what he doesn't know is we're here for revenge and to ask you the toughest questions on live TV. And of course, on what day? His birthday! Guys, you need to clap.
You're my guy. Your paper is even longer than her own.
Oh, no. My name is Bleakz. I'm your guest host.
And my name is Prince Nelson Worm, and this is Ebuka Birthday Takeover on Rubbin Minds.
All right. So, Ebuka, how are you doing today?
I am actually fine. My birthday was 2 days ago, but it's apparently still my birthday weekend. And
It's your birthday over.
I think everybody who knows me knows that I don't generally enjoy my birthdays.
Why?
I think it's a lot of just self-reflection I do, and it gets me in this space where I'm like, there's still so much more to achieve. And yeah, so I get very deep in my head, just trying to figure out, So sometimes months before itself,
You don't
I
need
was
to.
just like, oh, God,
Wow.
this thing is coming again.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this one was a little lighter than usual because I had a quiet day for the most part. So yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's nice. So I'm going to be asking you your first question today. Are you ready?
Very ready.
Okay. So, Ebuka, tell us, who's your favorite Big Brother housemate of all time?
And I'm not trying to be political, but I don't have one.
Okay, give us two, or top three.
We were prepared for you.
We came prepared.
That would be your answer.
I can give you a number of
Okay.
people.
Of people. Okay, cool.
We'll take it.
It was Gideon who was in my season.
Okay.
He was amazing.
Okay.
I have liked everybody who surprised me, because I get a lot of your profiles before the show starts, and I think this person go dry. So the ones who end up going in and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming, have been quite interesting, and you were one of them. Because I thought you were going to be a dead babe. You were not so dead. But
Ouch! But thanks. Okay.
so that was a little surprising. The people that give me drama,
Okay.
I don't know if your drama was intentional, but you had a community around you. I've also enjoyed people who play the game.
Ebuka, you're being political.
No, wait, let me finish. I'm going to give you names.
We need the names.
I've given you 3 names already, but it's like people who come in and play the game. The one thing I've grown to like a lot less over the season is people who come in and say, I was just myself. It's a good thing, but I also see that there's money to be won.
Yeah.
How do you not come in with a game plan?
I'm guilty.
Yeah, I always feel like if you're coming to win 100 million naira, whatever it is,
plan
there
for
should
it.
be some plan.
Yeah,
And we don't get that very often. Pere gave us a bit of that, then sort of disappeared at some point when I dragged him small, and he just, sort of chilled. I like people who play the game and stick with it. Miracle did that quite a bit. Miracle and Toby in their season, they had a bit of a competition that was very interesting, but they also had Woman Matter around them. That is always disturbing you people. But I don't know if that's the thing. I like people for different things.
Okay.
So it's hard to say that I have a favorite person, to be honest.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
But
fine.
all I heard from everything he said was Beauty Tukura is his favorite housemate.
It's fine. It's fine.
Prince, thank you.
Yeah. So, for someone who has a lot that you do on TV, what's that one ritual that you've stuck with for years that keeps you motivated, that gets you ready for your day?
Outside of work, like
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, like what's the one ritual you do
just
every day?
something that you do every single day.
I drink coffee every day. I don't know if that's a very good habit. And it's a ritual I enjoy because I brew my own coffee.
Oh.
I blend the beans and I brew it myself, and then I balance. And I start watching the news at like 7 a.m.
Okay.
before I start my day. So that's kind of how I start my day. And I've stuck with that for years now. My kids even know that. Once they hear the blending sound, they're like, this man has started. You know, so that's one thing I know I do every day. With regards to work, I don't know if there's a ritual, but I've found that a lot of the things I do, I enjoy. So if I mean, I've done this show now for 10 years. You don't do something for that long if it's not like sweeting you small. And enjoying it just keeps me going. And I just wake up and I'm like looking forward to work already. You don't find a lot of people who look forward to going to work, whatever the work is. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I pray before I get on stage every time.
So that's another constant. So
it's usually a very short prayer. Yeah.
Prayer is a constant.
It's a very short prayer, just backstage before I sort of
Do you want to share prayer of this?
I mean, it's basically for just the thing to go well.
Okay.
It's 2, 3, 4 sentences. God, please, this next hour, please, I beg, no for my head, kind of thing. Especially when it's live TV. This is live TV now. Big Brother is live. Shows that are live, you can't take anything back. So it's just like, can this hour just go without any tabon? You know, because it just takes one slip up and everything crashes.
Okay. So, Ebuka, how do you find the balance between being a father, a husband, and being the most sought-after media personality across Africa? You're the hottest. You're the dog of TV. No, to be honest.
I like that you ask that, because people don't ask men that a lot. They tend to ask women that a lot, and I find that sometimes it's almost as if it's only women that
have families.
I mean, they do a lot of the work, let's be honest. But balance for me is very... I think it works because of the kind of family I have, right? I have kids who are a lot wiser than their age. So it's easier to explain things to them even if you're not around. They understand it. I also have a wife who I say is the kindest human being in the world. And she has sort of gotten a sense of what my routine and my life is like. When we got married, she'd do like, what's this? Smart in your house, smart in your house, smart in your house. But we understand each other now. We're able to balance each other when one is not around, the other person takes over, and it works very well for us. So I can't do it without my wife. That's the honest truth. But at the same time, I also, with my work, I separate them almost cleanly, which is why most times you go on my social media pages, you see just sprinklings of my family there. Because I like to keep my public life public and my private life is private. So when I go home and I come out and I'm in my boxers alone, I know that they can judge me all they want, but I'm in my safe space. So I like to keep my home. And separating that has been very, very key for me. I've been married now going on 8 years. And I think that sanity that I go back to is what keeps me going with work. So when I'm at work, I'm working. When I leave work, I leave work where it is.
You've sort of inspired some of us. You know, the thing he said about keeping your private life private and your work, public. I picked that from him, actually. You know, sometimes when I go to my page, I'm like, this is just all work. There's nothing about it here.
90% of my page is work.
But then it's okay.
It's okay.
And that's great because coming from where you've come to the point where you are right now, I want to use that and ask a question. Has there ever been a time that you've looked back? Maybe not now, but has there ever been a time that you look back, across your journey, to get into where you are right now, and you said, I wish I could have gone back in time and not be famous, and not be Ebuka?
I don't think I've ever, let me say the right words. I've never been a fan of fame. And if you know me, I think you can tell. But I've also understood that it comes with what I do. So I've never courted fame. I've never chased fame. I've never really sort of thrived in it, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to put things out to be talked about. So most times if you see me being talked about, it's because of my work. It's not because I did something outside of my work, So I don't know that I enjoy fame or I've ever really liked it as much. I mean, it comes with its benefits. I can never deny that. But I also understand that it's a necessary evil that comes with having a career that's public. But if you left me with an option, I would take the career with the money that is coming with it.
So that was about to be my follow-up question. So you would have this,
not be famous.
You would have this without the fame.
Yes, I would easily.
It's our kick and
exactly. But I will eat this one.
Okay, so my next question for you: what are the top 3? I mean, you're always on TV. You've been on TV for 10 years now. What are the top 3 times you felt embarrassed?
I'd up to 3, but I know I've had a couple. By the very first time I did live television, I think I've told this story before, it was with Fumi Yonda. Okay. She had this show she does every year, January 1st. and we had a guest on air that I was meant to interview. This was in 2012, January 1st or 13, I can't remember now. And she had given me this, okay, I want you to come and host this show with me. I'd never done live TV before.
Oh, that was your first time.
And
Just like me.
exactly. So she gives me this person's name, then I do a research on her.
Yeah.
Then I go on air and I ask my very first question. And she says, no, that wasn't me. I had researched somebody completely different from her. It was my first time, my first question, my first sentence on live TV.
Wow.
And it was wrong.
And it was the wrong person I was talking to. And till today, it still haunts me.
I've been there.
You know, just, I know, we saw your own.
I remember. You know what?
We saw your own. So everybody goes through those moments.
Yeah.
But that day just taught me, you know what? I think it also helped, because I kind of carried on with the interview, but I think that has also helped me a lot more with freestyling, which is why even with like a show like Big Brother, when some of you have sharp mouth and give me, I'm able to quickly have a response, because that's what it does to you, to think on your feet in the moment. And you know, so that one definitely, I remember it every time. And I've not met her since then. I think she moved out of the country. She's an author. I don't say I know verse because it was supposed to be her moment, and I ruined it with the opening sentence. It was very bad. Yeah.
All right. So with you also being one of the most fashionable people in Africa.
Amen.
Thank you. In Africa, we can't take it away from you. You're always cleaning with styles, different outfits. You can do it all, basically. Who would you say is your favorite designer?
I think that's easy. Everybody knows Attendant. Attendant is.
Okay, that one
I think he's easily the best menswear designer on the continent. But I've also worked with him for over a decade. So from when he started, and I've seen him just blossom into this amazing.
So you've been the ultimate muse.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, and I'm very happy to be his muse.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like journey.
I worked with him when he was the brand manager of a brand I was an ambassador for after I left Big Brother in 2006. That's when I met him, and I was like, you like this thing you're sewing, why not just, you know.
Bring this
And then 3 years later, he quit and started what has now become, you know, this amazing.
So you can say that you are the one that planted the seed.
I don't know, but I like to say
it.
I say it, but I don't know if it's true, but I like to say it, yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so you have multiple degrees in law, but you don't practice. Do you consider your level of success tied to your degree in any way?
Yes, a lot of it.
How so?
Well, maybe also because with eloquence, for example, I mean, studying law helped me. You do all these mock trials. Yes. I went to law school. You are forced to speak publicly. I was a very shy person, so a lot of that started preparing me. I had my master's degree abroad, so it also sort of exposed my mind as well to just understanding how cultures work. So I think in some way, maybe not even directly, but being in that environment where you had to, you know, think on your feet and, you know, use your brain a lot more and read a lot. Because part of what I do now, I have to study a lot of things. Because with Rubbin Minds, for example, I talk about multiple topics at the same time. Yeah, so I have to know something about everything. So yeah, I think it has helped me in some way. But the law is still going to come back. Though. Money did, yeah. Entertainment law.
What do you mean come back?
Yeah, we're still going to enter.
You want to still go back there?
We can always have 800 side gigs. Nothing is stopping us.
Okay. Wow, that's good. So as a star, as a big star that you are, how have you had to deal with loss and every other human feelings with being a huge star? Would you say it's what's the right word? Would you say it's okay to be human as an Ebuka, as a celebrity in the industry? Of course.
I mean, I've dealt with one or two heavy moments, friends, family members, but I'm also not the public griever. So I mean, there are people who express themselves differently. For me, when I grieve or when I experience loss, of course, that's when I go back to that safe space I talk about, where it's your family and they understand your emotions more. Because you find out that when you do a lot of these things publicly, there are people who are trying to look for a reason why you're doing it. And there's a draggable moment for everything. Yeah,
trying to connect dots.
Especially in moments where you're feeling emotional. I go back to my sanctuary. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody should have their safe spaces for things like that. If your safe space is social media, why not? You know, if your safe space is your family, if it's your boyfriend or your husband or your girlfriend, it probably is for some people. There are people who go there. I mean, the last guest I had started content creation because he was depressed, and he went there to express himself. So if whatever it is for you,
and he found the community of depressed people.
I don't know, but I mean, it helped. I mean, I guess expressing himself helps him release, you know, stuff. So you never know.
Okay, so look at this one. I've been dying to ask you this because even as tiny as I am, my DMs are full. You know, these people, they just come in, they're just requests every day. So I know many people would kill to see what your DM, you know, looks like. But what's your Instagram DM like, really? Like, what kind of characters and personalities do you have?
All sorts of things. It is all sorts of things.
Give us
I think I'm thankful.
Give us some
I don't get so many
tea.
images anymore. I used to get some images before that way. I used to
Ebuka.
Yes. That doesn't happen as often. It happens, but not as often anymore.
Wow.
But I get people who are very intentional with the way they express. They even reply a story with me and my wife and say, "Congrats, but." Just in case you are, you know, and it's very...
Is that not a violation?
Wow.
That's a violation right there.
But I mean, I don't shut anybody down, but I also don't just address anything. They should, you know, exist in this
And then last question. What is one thing you wish you knew before going to the Big Brother house? And this is many years back. What's the one thing?
Big Brother was so different back then. What's the one thing I wish I knew?
To phrase it, let me say to phrase it because of the time when it happened. What is one thing you think you should have known before going into entertainment?
Yes, entertainment.
I think maybe just being more self-aware and not care a lot about what people say. Be more self-aware. If you do something and you believe in it, that's all that matters.
But then, if you say you don't care about what people say, what if it's something you should actually care about and not caring with, like, you know, issues and what?
I mean, there are things you should care about. And so I keep going back to this safe space and the people who you should listen to. Because you can't listen to 1 million people. If you have 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, you can't listen to every single opinion. If it's something you're sure of and you know it's in your heart, it's the right thing, people are going to want to debate that with you. It's not in their place to tell you that. But if it's something you feel you can change about, speak to your community and people around you, and then maybe you can address it. But I'm not a huge fan of taking too many opinions on my life.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was
so I can go and eat my cake now.
Yes, we can all go and eat your cake together with you, Ebuka. Thank you so much
Thanks for
being our guest.
For joining us on this
Don't come back here.
of taking
We shouldn't come back.
over.
Oh, why?
Rubbin minds with Ebuka. We'll come back.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So much.
Nice one, man. That was
Yes.
good. Hey, what you put
I was
hiding?
going to ask for your crown, but then I realized you have queens in your house.
You want to put it on your head with the icing? Nice one. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next Sunday.